Good evening, all of my wonderful women here and aspiring business women. I'm having trouble with my words tonight. As promised, I'm here with Karen Shaw. Now, you won't know Karen because she only got popped in the group yesterday. I've known Karen now for about 18 months, and I've met Karen through my energy alignment mentorship course. She's ahead of me in the mentorship, but I brought her into the group because she has an amazing business called Parenting Magic. And I know that probably 90% of us in this group are mums. And if you're anything like me, you will have those pangs of guilt every now and again that we are running our businesses and we're trying so hard to set a good example to our children. But often we're found with our mobile phones in our hand and they're seeing us do this and we're going, we're working. And I know that that's not a good example to be setting my son. And I'm also suffering from major guilt this week because I've been spending so much time doing videos and training online as well for myself and giving training. So I wanted Karen to come in here and talk to us about conscious parenting, which is her speciality subject. So Karen, please tell us a bit about yourself.
I will do, yeah. As Claire said, my name is Karen. It's Karen Shaw, and I've actually created Parenting Magic. And it's parenting coaching and programs so that parents can really, really connect and communicate with the children in this conscious and confident manner. And I say confident because I think a lot of the time parents are really not confident about what they're doing. Because quite frankly, a lot of the time we don't know what to do. Nobody gives us that manual when a child's born, and it is by trial and error. So I've actually got over 39 years of parenting experience now, which is
You would not believe that. That is scary.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. I think, how did that happen? And I went through a really, really tough time when I got divorced. I was divorced in 2001. I was depressed, I was on Prozac, I was having a really tough time. I wasn't supported, financially, emotionally, practically in any way. And I had 3 boys, and my boys have got incredible challenges. Really, really, we've gone through all sorts, they've got medical conditions, health issues, on the autistic spectrum, insulin-dependent diabetic, psychological problems, self-harm. So I've gone through a lot. And I was self-employed, starting to, and I'm going to say the word try, which I don't like using, but trying to start a business. And I was spending the time yelling at the kids, feeling like I didn't know what I was doing, tearing my hair out. And it was just a horrible place to be until I found NLP. It was NLP. My NLP journey is when I learned so much about me. I used hypnotherapy. I got introduced to energy therapies and then took it from there, and my life changed. And the interesting thing is, and a lot of the time, parents are looking at the children, wanting the children to change, to do things differently. And really, that's not going to happen until we change. And Gandhi's quote,
exactly.
I love it. Gandhi's quote says, "We must be the change." And I swear, sitting in that NLP training, my aha moment was when the trainer said, "Nobody can make you anything." And I went, what? How? I used to shout, "You're making me so mad, you're making me so angry, you're making me really upset." Until I realized that any emotion that we're going through, any emotion, if you look at the word, it's energy in motion. It's energy that's going through us.
Everything is energy.
Everything's energy. So this energy is going through me and I'm feeling what I'm feeling. Well, it's my body and it's me that's allowed that energy in. It's myself that's allowed my energy to vibrate at that frequency. They haven't made that. Nobody's put my arm at the back. Nobody's held a gun to my head. And suddenly it was like, whoa, personal power. I stepped into personal power then. And everything else I learned from NLP just made a massive difference. And that's why I say parenting magic. Because when we put these tools, tips and techniques into practice, it's like magic. it changes. And the other thing, Claire, truthfully, what we're parenting, they're the magic. They are the beautiful magic that, they come here and then we start to try and fit them into boxes and shape them. And that's the bit that, it's sad, because I believe they come here in that beautiful unconscious state from wherever it is, and then we try and change them. And it's just interesting.
No, carry on.
No, you tell me now. Tell me what
no,
I've got to say.
No, I'll save it.
Okay, what I was going to say is, strangely enough, I had a conversation just the other day about this. Loving our children unconditionally. We don't.
No.
It's incredible. We love them, absolutely. We want to keep them safe. We do anything for them. And we still put conditions on it. There's not a relationship.
If you do that, you're not going to get this.
That's it. Do you know, and it starts when they're babies. How do we confuse our children? You've got these beautiful little babies and you sit there winding them. You want them to burp, you want them to fart, you want them to get rid of this wind. And then a little bit further down the line, it's suddenly like, oh, don't do that in public. We can't have any of that behaviour.
True.
So what's going on in their head?
We've had that conversation this evening.
Oh, how interesting. I used to make people smile, and I get told I'm a good boy when I do that. And now it's like, no, that's not right. I don't do that. The other thing that I find really interesting is when we laugh at children when they do something inappropriate or swear. And
which reinforces the behaviour.
It absolutely does, doesn't it? So we are teaching them that's what's happening. And then we change it. We're the ones that change the boundaries, remove them. One of the things that's really important in parenting is the consistency. It's definitely having the boundaries in place, and it's the consistency of what you're doing. Otherwise, you're just messing their heads up, aren't we?
Completely. And I know that we'll have all seen those kind of parents who, like when we're in public, whether it be at the cinema or the beach, wherever we are, we'll always see the parents who give the children the bag loads of sweets and then tell them off for running around like lunatics because they're high on sugar. You know what I mean? It's those kind of things where we're the ones who are making the mistakes, not the children. The children are just being children, and they are there to push boundaries because that's what children do. That's how they grow and that's how they develop. That's how they learn this is clearly something that I do daily as well because I work with children every day too. And it is frustrating when you see parents not understanding what their behaviours are doing to the children. But if they don't have NLP to help them, or they don't understand that our energy is manifested in everybody around us as well, what can they do?
You come and work with me, Claire. That's what they do. Because it's split into so many things. What I aim to do is help parents to be, do, and say things differently. The being starts with truly looking at who we and the children are, what and who we are, and really taking an in-depth look at the energy. I say, look at everybody under a microscope. If we looked under a microscope, we wouldn't see any boundaries, any edges. Everything would be one. Everything's vibrating. And if we can remember that, it's all about the energy that we're emitting, what they are moving into. Very often, parents are having a tough time, will say to me, but the children don't know. We don't argue in front of them. They don't know what's going on. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. You're emitting it from every pore of your being, and the heart's the strongest. The electromagnetic field that's coming from the heart is the one that is just. The children are in it all the time.
Absolutely.
So it's really understanding. You don't have to say anything. My youngest son, Eden, who is on the autistic spectrum, is Asperger's. He's labelled with Asperger's. He was brilliant at this. Brilliant, because I think those children are extra sensitive to energy. And he would sit there, and I wouldn't be saying anything, and he'd just look at me and say, "What's wrong, Mummy?" And I'd go, "Nothing." Why? Because he could pick it up, he could feel it. And we know you walk into a room and you could cut the atmosphere with a knife, we say.
Karen, it's so true. And as I've written my soul story, I've written about this. At the age of 10, and 11, I wasn't in a very good home environment, and I could wake up and lie in bed in the morning,
Yeah.
and I could sense in the atmosphere what kind of day it was going to be without
Yeah.
even seeing other
Yeah.
people in the house, without hearing anything. And
Yeah.
I am now thinking, my son's 10 now. I can remember how I thought when I was 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've now got to give him credit where credit's due, that actually he's a lot more emotionally developed than I think he is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's incredible. That is going on. Absolutely. The other thing, from a spiritual point of view, my belief, and it helps me, is that we already made our decisions before we got here. So, on some level, the sole agreement between us all is I'll be your child and you will be my mother. And however it happens, and I don't know, we sit around a boardroom and we pick them. And I picked 3 boys with incredible challenges and said, go on then, I'll be a single mum. I've been a single
Throw it
mum now
at me.
17 years, give me the challenges and I'll go through this. And why did I choose that? So I could be a parenting coach. And it's like,
Yeah.
thank you. I love it all. It's incredible. So I believe that our children are here to teach us, or at least give us the opportunity to grow. So when your child triggers you and you are so angry that they're not listening to you and they're not doing as you asked, for me, it's questioning, what is it that's triggered me to have this? And I'm going to call it a reaction, an energetic reaction, which is absolutely an emotion, isn't it? And we feel it in the body. What's brought that up? So I would look at why we are experiencing that. Where else in life have I not been heard? Where else in life has somebody not listened to me? There'll be a good reason for it. A lot of people say, well, they should listen to me because I'm the parent.
I know better.
And I don't believe any of that's true. However, it's more than that. There's a root cause. Now, one of the things that you mentioned at the beginning, guilt, which we know is not a good emotion, it's quite low on that vibrational scale. Well, because I'm an EAM mentor, as you know, the energy alignment method is superb at finding out, are you, and I'm going to say, suffering from one of these negative emotions? So part of my coaching programs include EAM, because we will ask, am I feeling guilty? And there's a sway, isn't there, in the body? Your energy will take you forward. And if you've got that yes, as long as everything's working that way, it's like, oh, we don't want this. And we release it. So we realign to a higher vibrational energy. We don't only do that with emotions, we do it with thoughts and beliefs around parenting.
So even if you think I'm a crap mum,
the damage is in it. Yeah, that's it. Because the energy around that isn't good. So it's really coming from, the first point of being is being differently with your energy. So you do that with EAM, you do it with the way you think, and you start to look at parenting differently.
Because it's the law of vibration, isn't it? It's not just the law of attraction, it's law of vibration as well.
Vibration comes first, Claire. You can't have attraction without vibration.
Exactly. But lots of people have only heard of the law of attraction.
Absolutely.
And not heard of the law of vibration. And this is what we're talking about now.
Yeah, it's fundamental. It's where it comes from first. Everything's vibrating. Put anything under a microscope, it is not still, it's vibrating. Not only is it vibrating, it's actually flashing in and out of existence, which is also another weird thing. So what I like to do with the programs, with coaching, is to put together the spiritual aspect to make it make sense, really married well with the science of it all, so it starts to make sense.
Yeah.
When we can look at ourselves, it just makes life a lot easier. Now, as for NLP,
no, I was going to say, so for the people who are struggling with parenting at the moment and being a mumpreneur or solopreneur, whatever they want, a woman in business, a mum in business, what have you got, like, any small tips they can do to help them on their journey?
Yeah, what I think we're all under some kind of pressure and we haven't got much time. So what I think a really good idea to do is use your time and language in the most effective way, so it's concise, so your interactions and your exchange, you get the best out of them. And this is where the language of NLP comes in, because we spend so much time not getting our message across, not saying what we mean, they misinterpret it, and really spending time, quality time. What I find a lot of parents do is they use the transition time, picking your kids up from school, then you go into football, and then you do it to address an important matter, which is like, that is just such the wrong time to be talking about something. Leave it until you've got some time set aside. The other thing that I think sometimes we are not very good at doing is planning. And you know what happens. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail, because we do sometimes just expect our kids to be mind readers as well, to know what we're thinking and know what we're doing. Yes. And we don't we don't connect. And I still find it quite incredible that we talk to children as though they are, I'm going to say, second-class citizens. You would not speak, or a lot of people, a lot of parents wouldn't speak to the child, to another adult, the way they speak to the child. But just what happens, it's focus. We talk about the law of attraction, we're talking about focus. So the one thing, I talk about language, how you construct sentences. The thing that I want people to do is to ditch the don'ts. How many times do you think you tell children to don't do this, don't be late, don't forget your homework, don't? So ditch them. If I say to you, Claire, right now, don't think about a red bus. Don't think about a red bus. You know you're going to. Because even if you're very clever and say, I thought about a blue car, you still thought about that red bus because you had to. So what we tend to do with children is we focus on the things they wouldn't have. And then their unconscious mind doesn't hear the don't, and it's going, touch, jump, run on the grass, forget my homework. So if you ditch your don'ts and ask for what you want, not what you don't. And the other tiny word that I think makes a massive difference is but. I want you to sit on your butt, please. It's the only thing your butt's good for. It's a negation, and it takes away anything you said before it. You look really nice. You look really nice tonight, Claire, but what? How about you look really nice?
It's almost like that just word as well. That just word is a horrible word. I'm just a woman.
The beautiful thing about NLP is where I learned about the unconscious mind, and the wonderful thing, the way Freud describes it, is the iceberg. 5 to 10% at the top is your conscious mind, and there's 95% of you run unconsciously. So it's what's happening, the wiring in there, and especially around language. If you say to a child, because my boys were older when I learned this, if Helen would ask if you could go to a party, the old me would have said, yes, you can go, but don't get drunk, don't be late. Yes, you can go, and yes, you can go, and stay sober, come home on time. There's a different energy. There's energy in work, energy in every single thing we say, which just reminds me of, Masaru Emoto's work, The Hidden Messages in Water.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Talking to water.
So how much water are we? 70, 80% water. Yeah. So are your children. Everything you are saying to them is affecting every cell of the body and the way they are. So ditch you don't, sit on your butt. And I would like us to stop trying. Because try.
So if our child, I'm lucky with Dylan, he's a good boy, and I can give him a look.
Yeah.
Like it's like,
yeah.
Which kind of says, really? Are you really talking to me like that? Because we are getting a lot of attitude at the moment. So I do a look, and he'll know, and I'll go, was that a good thing to say, or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
We don't fall out, and I am very lucky, but I'm completely aware that there are children out there who push their parents to their limits.
Yeah.
And then the parents have a meltdown in front of them, and then they go, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. How can we not get to that bit?
I think it's the relationship that you build up from the beginning. Anytime's okay to start with it. What I would suggest you avoid are any of the interrogative words, the W words, any of them. What, why, when, who, what, all those words are going to put the child, the adult, the teenager on the back foot, because their unconscious mind immediately goes, don't you question me. And it will find the first thing that comes into its head. And we as parents very often do that. What have you done that for? Why? Stop it. Instead of using the interrogation, use declarative language, which means turning it back to you, and you state something about you. Because you're not going in there, first of all, being accusatory. You say, I've noticed, or I'm thinking, or I'm feeling, or I'm wondering, or I'm curious. Because it's you first. Yeah. And then you've already diffused what might have been quite an explosive situation. So that's one tip. And when we are looking after ourselves, you know this, you look after yourself first, oxygen mask thinking. When you're in a good place, health-wise, and you're feeling good, you are more able to respond rather than react.
Yeah.
Because for every action, there's an equal and opposite one. And you know, when you do that in a science lab and it's an explosion, that's an argument. That's how it happens. So it's when we can stop, be calm. That's why I'm absolutely always saying meditation, yoga. It's just for parents. Be present. Start being more conscious about your behaviour and your words. And it makes a massive difference. And when we can start to respond rather than react, that helps. I ask you to be calm, lose the alarm, because we do that a lot. And it will come across in a completely different way. As I said, we do start discussions off with them with those, with interrogatives or with even imperatives where we are commanding them. You may hear parents say, you know, pick your bag up, shut that door, move that. You wouldn't say that to anyone else.
No.
And so it's only when
often it's easier to hear somebody else saying it than it is to hear yourself saying it. So it's being aware of your own words and your own thoughts, isn't it, as well, which you have to train yourself to do. You have to train yourself to listen to what you're saying.
This is what I mean. This stuff, for me, I think this is simple. I'm not saying it's easy. And when I first learned it, I came home, Claire, and I had 3 sheets of flip chart paper with don'ts on. Don't speak to me like that. Don't leave pots in your room. Don't slam the door. Don't forget your homework. It was don't. It was like, well, okay.
Yeah, and rather than don't leave the pots in the room, you could change it to, could you bring your pots down, please?
Don't even ask them. This is another thing, because think about every single thing you say. Think about what you want the answer to be. What if they say no?
Yeah. No. Okay. So I'm not asking you now.
So we don't. This is it. We're not telling them. Sometimes we're asking them, but most times, because you've turned it back to you, it's you first. I would like. You're making statements more often. But then this is why I love the NLP side, because when you put the construction together and you can say, I'd like you to bring those cups down because, magic word, it really helps me when the pots are downstairs. And you like helping me, don't you? Tag question on the end, head language getting people to agree. And it's clever and it's fun. And at first, yes, we end up using scripts, Claire, because it's scripted, and then you get used to it, and then you get used to, wow, this is magic language. It really is. And to put rose-coloured specs on more often, because we tend to do, I did it with my boys, I'd go into a room and I'd see what was wrong immediately, not what was right.
Yeah.
And we have got that habit of saying that. Hallam, who's the middle one,
picking your battles as well, isn't it? Not that there should be battles, but not losing your ag at the smallest things. So what if they've left the bathroom towel on the landing or whatever it might be? it's not the end of the world.
It's brilliant when you can start thinking like that. Hallam used to create
Yeah.
in the kitchen, and he was fabulous at cooking, but oh my God, what a mess. You
The
know,
mess.
I'd come home from work and I used to stand and think, what can I find good? And I'd say, I'm glad you put the cornflakes away and the milk back in the fridge this morning. And it will be really...
And the food was lovely.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm really glad you're making this. It'd be great when there's another one, not if. When.
Yeah, when.
Great when you've, tidied up. And I know you will, won't you? And you just get, it feels strange at first, but the language part of it is incredibly beneficial. So
I don't know if I'm doing the right thing or whether I'm bubble wrapping Dylan. I'll often, if I say, because his bedroom's never a complete mess yet, I'm sure that will come. Or if there's something that I need him to do and I know that he's not going to want to, I'll say, shall we do it together?
Okay.
I don't know whether that's a good thing or not. I don't know whether that's teaching him any lessons.
Well, I'll tell you what you're doing there. Fantastic. It's a great idea. However, you're asking him a question. What if he says no? You're asking him a question. Don't ask. So if you remember this, don't ask questions that you don't want the answer to. The best one is when you extend an invitation, Claire. Say, let's do this together.
Yeah.
Statement and invitation work.
Yeah, I think I probably do that. I might say something like, "Oh, you haven't picked up your dirty clothes," or whatever, or his toy cupboard needs doing. I'll say, "Let's go through it together, and then we can sort out what needs selling and stuff like that."
At least you're doing that. You can make that statement first. You make your statement like, "You've not done this, and I'd really appreciate it when you do that. Thank you." Use that. People say please. Please, it's got that pleading that doesn't work as well as, I'd like you to do the pots after dinner, thank you.
So does this apply from toddlers all the way through to teens?
Yeah.
The teens are on their tablets and their phones?
Well, it depends what you've set it. Boundaries, Claire. Understanding how to communicate and connect in the first place and having your boundaries in place. Punishment is not something that I believe works at all. And if you've got to have consequences, as long as they correlate to the offence, if you like, it makes sense. If they can't connect, why the hell, because they've said something, you've taken the PlayStation off them for 3 months? It's like, can you teach them something else? So
I'm laughing because if only you knew my dad 30 years ago.
I had it. You're grounded.
My stepmom's favourite line was, "David, the punishment has to fit the crime."
It's awful, isn't it? We don't want.
Because he'd have locked me in the attic and I'd still be there now.
Yeah, I know that.
For not putting the dishwashing on and stuff like that.
Yeah, and a lot of the things that we look at are the actual brain and child development through the ages, because toddlers, no child in my eyes is ever naughty. They're doing the only thing they can in that split second because it's the only choice. You may say the behaviour is naughty, but the child isn't. And they always make the only choice available to them. If you're looking at them from, the unconscious behaviour, that's true. So we look at what's happening to toddlers. Usually they just don't know how to express really strong emotions. And then by the time you get to the teenagers, that is a whole new way of looking at the brain development there, because there are things going on that if we were a little more understanding of what was happening, we'd be kinder with them. So it's fascinating.
So conscious parenting, in a nutshell, is monitoring ourselves, isn't it? And the way we talk to our children. It's not even about our behaviours or anything like that, really. It's all about communication. Is that right?
It is. The thing about communication, it's every single thing you do.
Yeah.
It's every thought you have. It's every facial gesture you do. It's every behaviour, every action you take, because I talk about kinetic and kinesic, the difference between the tiny micro muscle movements that are still relaying things. You're communicating always, whether you're saying something or not. So the crux, and I say, I want to talk to enlightened, conscious, aligned and congruent parenting. That's what we're aiming for. Because if you're not congruent, how can you possibly expect if you are not living, if you're not that role model?
And that's it, isn't it? It's that role modeling malarkey that we're all trying to do and feeling like we're failing at. Now, people can find out more about this. You've got a group, haven't you, which I'm about to put on the page.
Yeah, I'd love people to come and join,
Facebook.com groups, Parenting Magic group. It's not, I'll paste these underneath as well once the video is finished and send it out to people. But you've also got some free stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, the 6 steps to successful parenting. You've got the link to it, haven't you? That's just an ebook, and it will give you some of the things I've already said, like ditch your don'ts, wearing rose-colored specs, how you limit choices, how you add tag questions. It's about body language. It's things that maybe you haven't either heard before or thought of before. And so, of course, you know, coaching programs I do. I mean, shall I tell people what I'm offering at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
I am offering 6 coaching sessions. Sessions are usually an hour and a half, because I think you've said this before. You get to just before the hour and you hit that magic bit, and then it's the after where you get, you know, most progressive results. So it will be 6 sessions, 6 90-minute sessions. Now, I don't say every week because it's up to you. That would be up to you, absolutely, whether you wanted it weekly. I don't like doing it sort of if you're leaving it 2 weeks or too long. Then on top of that, I give people an SOS coaching call for when they're having a meltdown, where they're going, I don't know what to say next. This is really challenging. And then when we've finished it all, again, at the end of it, there's another coaching session. So that actually, the value of that is £880. And if anybody's interested in that, I'm just going to halve it. I'm just going to make it £440. So it's that, it's the coaching. You'll get, there's lots of PDFs and free things with that, like a dozen do's. I like my dozen do's.
That's right, isn't it? 6 coaching sessions, an SOS call, and then a bonus coaching session at the end. Normally £880, but it's £440. That's incredible, Karen.
Yeah, it is. If you think about that per week for what you get, it's, you know.
And at the end of it, you come out being a confident, conscious parent.
You know what you're
doing.
Not
conscious as in I was knocked out before and you've woken me up, but you will have woken people up in the sense of parenting.
And it's exactly what you said. It's the consciousness, it's the aligned, it's you being congruent, it's you being consistent. It's all the things that work. I've got the most incredible relationship with my boys, and it wasn't always like that. It's worth the effort. It is worth it.
It really is.
Pressure. So, yes. And if anybody's got anything, what I'll say to people is please have a call with me. Whatever's going on for you, the call, I always say, it's a get it off your chest call. Just spill the beans. Tell me what's going on.
Do they get a call? Have you got a link, or is it through your Facebook page?
Through the Facebook page, and they can either PM me there, and I'll give them a Calendly link, and we can book a call in. I really want to talk to people. I want to get this stuff out there. I'm passionate about it. I love it. It excites me. And I know that we can all have a really good relationship. But look what we're doing for the children and the next generation. Yeah. Different level of parenting, I think, we're coming into, don't you?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you ever so much, Karen, for coming on and chatting to us. I will. This will be uploaded onto YouTube, and you can then share it out if you want to on your website and stuff, because there's a lot of information in there for people.
Was it? I just thought it was me rabbiting on.
Well, it was that as well. But about something you're passionate about and that can really help people, well, help more than one person, isn't it? It's helping families.
Yes, it is. I love it. Thank you, Claire.
No, thank you.
Enjoyed it.